All right, I just want good afternoon, by the way. I want to get right into this. What I want to talk about is a bit of a general idea here. What I want to talk about is, I played a game once before, which is supposed to be a bit of a fun kind of game, where I was saying, guess who I am? This is maybe a couple weeks ago. I said, guess who I am? I'm going to give you hints on who I am. You have to guess and find out who I am. You know what I mean? And we played games. Other than that, I've actually given a lot of background stories on myself, on my past, on my present, what I like to do with my future, and today I gave my net worth and things like that. Talked about my net worth. But anyways, the point is that really what I'm trying to get into here is that I'll be honest. At the basic level one that I was at, I had a few good qualities. It was almost like a loyalty, a backing. You know what I mean? And without realizing how good I was at it, I don't realize it till now. When I think about it, I used to think that the way I used to think on the top, like on the conscious level was, for example, oh well, this is my family. I gotta do for them, or I gotta do right. And I actually would be doing that with full intention. No matter what they were doing, they may be trying to screw me over on every level, but I'd be putting on, right? And now that I think about it, I didn't realize what what a good job I was doing. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just them, or it wasn't them. It wasn't even them. It was like I was repping for a family that I was not seeing, or maybe I was seeing outside, but I wasn't really claiming it on a conscious level for everybody to see. This is my family. This is who I'm messing with. These are the people I'm messing with. I wasn't doing any of that. Now, after the robbery, maybe like a year and a half or so after it, I come into now I started intentions to try to build some kind of connection, and I find a connection. The connection introduces me to a different kind of perspective. You know what I mean? About the world. You know what I mean? Mind you, these are all things that I knew on the subconscious level. On the subconscious level, inside, deep down, I'm so amazed with how accurate I was. Sometimes I think back to myself and I go, on the subconscious level, I was really, really good. I was really good. And what the best part about me was I used to talk a lot, but everything I said meant nothing. You know what I mean? I would talk constantly, and I would try to make useless, flat jokes that had no substance in them. You know what I mean? On the conscious level. And then I think about it, I'm like, that's so brilliant, because the way that I hid my subconscious knowledge was amazing. But, literally and publicly, being exposed to public life. You know what I mean? Trying to find out who I am in public, trying to find out who different players and in any area, who they are, what they're doing, kind of seeing the world on that level, was quite interesting for me. Now again, I would start to move with people if we became similar, or if there was some similar purpose or something. I start moving kind of in that beat, and I start looking around. Now, I've given so much information for myself, but this is what I know on a conscious level, is that in our world as people, all of us as people, we don't want to tell every little thing. At the most, we like to hint. Every now and then we'll throw a hint out. You know what I'm like? You know what I mean? Every now and then. Now I'm becoming further like that too. I've grown in levels, and I'm becoming more like that too. Versus me having to stress to everybody, oh, do you not believe me? Do you not believe me? Do you not believe me? You know what I mean? It's not that kind of situation. It's more like, well, everything's understood. We're all on a higher level right now. Not all of us, but me and all that are concerned are on a higher level right now. Rather than me and all I'm concerned being on the first level, on level one, me and all that are concerned are at a much higher level. All right. So us being at this higher level, obviously we're not gonna be throwing things out there. Oh, you gotta believe me. You gotta believe me. I gotta make sure. We're not we're at a higher level here. But the thing is that people, at the most, sometimes there's nothing. People will tell you nothing. They will leave a little trace in the things that they say. You know what I mean? They'll say something and they'll throw a little trace in there. And that's like involuntary. It just happens, you know? You're talking, you're walking, your body language, you're giving off a little bit of a tip regardless, even if you're silent. Yeah, and people give hints at the most about themselves. You know what I mean? But we know what's going on. We see what's going on in the game. We feel it, you know, as part of creatures on this planet. And I'm talking about on any level, any person, any animal on this planet. We all have some kind of, you know, we have this frequency. We feel things. You know what I mean? If not in the world, at least in our cities or our countries or our regions, you know, or within our own worlds. If you're a crackhead, you really feel and know what's going on in the crackhead world. Really, crackheads are very in tune with what's going on in their world. I'm sorry, no. But the thing is that, you know, that's all it is. You don't need to stress. Now, I may stress, but in our world, and I'm just clarifying, in our world, we only stress things when somebody's doing the wrong thing. For example, if there's some part of society that says, well, we're gonna, despite whatever happens, despite what we're supposed to do, and despite what the reality is, we're going to create our own reality. And we're going to take whoever we want as part of that reality, and we're going to do whatever we want. You know, no laws in consideration, unwritten or written. No idea for, you know, what can happen in the future. No idea of what this would mean for, you know, no idea like that. We're just going to do this. Now, in that case, that's why when we speak out, you know, first of all, you start speaking out when the situation is really bad. Dude, what's going on here? You guys are not supposed to do. You do understand this could be like an annihilation of like a significant portion of your society or your community. You do understand that, right? You know, that's when you throw it out there, and then you start saying, okay, look, this, and this. This happens. That's why this is happening. That's what's going on with here. That's what they're doing wrong. You know, that's when you start breaking it down. As human beings, we're not supposed to be pushed to that point. People are very savvy. They can follow everything like that. When they intentionally start doing the wrong thing and you catch up on it, that's when you throw that out there. But the thing is, for us to throw things like that out there is powerful. It's very powerful. When we throw things out like that, dude, you're screwing up. You're doing the wrong things. Here. And you're blatantly just and we don't even understand. You know, you think you're hurting us. You might hurt us a little bit, but you're just bringing yourselves down so bad. You know what I mean? You're destroying yourselves. Now, to the point, if I have to put this out there, it's going to be very powerful. It's going to be like, dude, we have to take action. Because if they're doing this and I'm pointing everything out, we have to take action. We have to start taking action. And just to the extent, we don't have to annihilate anybody, just to the extent that we can get the laws in place, we can get things working properly in place so that the systems work rather than our systems be all screwed up. You know, as an individual, I will tell you, I spent a long time in limbo. My situation was just up in the air. It wasn't here, it wasn't there. If people didn't like me, they'd laugh and they get to believe that they were getting off on me. People like me, they get off like they were feeling guilty. Regardless, I was in limbo. My life was in limbo. Everything in my life was in limbo. But I was able to do things. I was in the shadow world also, and I was able to do things from the shadow world. I may have been level 1 in the shadow world, but I was like the brightest level 1 in the shadow world. You know what I mean? I was already messing with the actual family that I dealing with, you know, with the family that I was with, you know, even though here I was still there, and sometimes I think back, go, wow, man, I was doing a phenomenal job, especially for a level 1. I was doing a phenomenal job, and I didn't even realize it. You know what I mean? But that was part of the genius of the subconscious. The subconscious had created this conscious identity that was a total jokester that nobody would take seriously. You know what I mean? And the subconscious has created a conscious that was so confusing and difficult to understand. You know, being in the shadow world, and it's not easy, and being level 1 in there, definitely you're gonna have some kind of abilities and advantages. But at this point, yeah, that's all I have to say. There's nothing else to say. I'm gonna say good afternoon again, and that's it for me.